Hey guys, we are back with some more Seattle franchise mode. And in the last one, our team had quite the Stanley Cup hangover as we are already at 10 losses at this point in the season, which not great. And our scoring has dried up tremendously as we are tied for last in the league in goals for per game at a 1.88 with Washington. And I believe, we're 30th. We're currently sitting in 30th in the league. So, hopefully our team can get it on track. And I have edited the lines before we started the video here. So, I'll show you guys the changes. We made quite a bit here. So, I decided to go with the power play lines for the top six. Henrich, De Silva, Mowers, and then Krabs, Zadina, and Liljegren. Because the power play, I believe I saw, was at 21%. So it's not the greatest it's ever been, obviously. Last year it was OP. But, it's not terrible. So I figured since the power play is working, we'll try it on the 5-on-5. And then third line is now Downey, Howden, and Abney. So the two snipers together. Hopefully they could do something. And then Morris, Eakin, and Martins. I put Morris on the fourth line because he had a lot of turnovers. I believe it was like 18 and 7, so hopefully he can improve that a little bit. If not, then we might have to think about scratching him in favor of Ala Magnuson. Now, power play didn't change, obviously. Penalty kill did, however, as that was not too great. It was tied for last in the division. So we have Howden and De Silva now on the first line. We switched Howden and Eakin, and now it's Eakin and Martins on the second line. I took Morris off, again, because of the turnover issue. Everyone else here does not have that much of an issue, if any issue, with turnovers. So, we'll leave that the way it is. Hopefully these lines do something for us, because this team is just, for some reason, not getting it done right now. At all. So we really need to get back on track here within the next, I would say, month. So let's simulate up to January, as I'm pretty confident these lines can get it done. There you go, 2-0 win over Washington. Making no trades right now. 4-2 loss against Edmonton. I mean, that's gonna happen. It's Edmonton. Oh my God. 4-3 loss against Tampa. 5-3 win against Montreal. All right, so we're not really making up too much ground right now. 3-2 shootout loss versus Carolina. 2-0 loss versus Vancouver. What is going on? Come on, boys. Nashville is going to be a 4-1 win. Okay, I feel like we're still rebuilders right now. With how bad the simulation is for us right now. Amateur Scout, sure. WHL, or you know what, we'll go... We already scouted that twice. We'll go American forward, 6 weeks. Minnesota 5-2 win. Okay. We're starting to get into a rhythm. St. Louis. See what happens. 3-2 shootout win. Oh, overtime win, I should say. Okay. Here we go. We're above 500 now. Boston 16-12-1. All right. Well, I'll take the overtime loss. Get some points in there. 3-2 win. Okay. There you go. All right. Here we go, boys. Dallas, 6-0 win. There you go, boys. And Abi Bulin. Okay, so there's our first injury in quite a while. Only till December 31st, and it's our backup goaltender, so not too big of a deal right there. We'll just call up one of our minor league guys who's the main starter down here in Oregon. 920 save percentage in 12 games for McNiven, and then for Gustafson. So it looks like Gustafson is the main starter down there, so we will call up McNiven, and we will put him in there for a couple of games, even though he's not going to get any time, because it'll probably just be Korpisalo. Yeah, we'll get Korpisalo in the starting position, and McNiven right there. Okay, so luckily not too big of an injury. Oregon, now we have to place a backup goaltender in here. It'll be Enroth. There you go. Okay, so... Pittsburgh, there you go. And New York. All right, there's our first regulation loss of the month. So being where we were at the start of the video, I will definitely take that. Abby Bullen is back, so we'll edit the lines once more, and we will send down McNiven. Actually, you know what? We'll just keep McNiven up here since there was another goaltender down there, so that we can just replace a goaltender whenever they happen to get injured. Hopefully that doesn't happen, though, too often anyway. So we are done with this month. We went, let's see, how many wins is that? That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and 1 in December. So that, again, from where we were, to have only 4 regulation losses so far in the season, from when we started the video anyway, that's not bad at all. It's really not. So Stuart DeSilva still leading the scoring, 30 points in 35 games. Cannot complain about that at all. Henrich has finally turned it on. He started the season with 7 assists in 16 games. So the last 20 games or so, he's definitely turned it on. Vandermeer, 26 points. Okay. Mowers with 21. Crab with 19. Boychuk 19. Liljegren with 17. Zadina with 15. Abney with 13, Eakin with 11, Howden with 11, Martins with 9, Downey and Pouliot with 7, Morris with 6, Pistola with 5, Bruce with 2, Magnuson with 1, and Comrie with 1. Plus minus, let's see. So we finally have some good pluses going on here on the team. Bruce and Vandermeer are notably the ones who are taking over defensively. So I forgot to show you guys that the one change I did make on defense was I switched Bruce and Vandermeer with Boychuk and Pistola. So Bruce and Vandermeer are now on the top 2, and Boychuk and Pistola are now on the top 4. So that might have had something to do with it, given the increased ice time to Bruce and Vandermeer. So I'm glad I made that decision. DeSilva plus 9, Downey plus 7, Mowers plus 6, Howden plus 5, Abney plus 4, Boychuk even. So it looks like the third line with Howden, Abney, and Downey has been simulating well over the past 20 games or so. And then the first line with DeSilva, Mowers, and Henrich has been simulating well. Because I believe Henrich was like at a -8 or something ridiculous like that. And now he's back up to a -1. So clearly the first line is working out right now. So that's good. Now, the second line with... Where is Zadina? Yeah, Zadina's still at a -8. So that second line isn't working out too well at the moment. Liljegren still -4. And then where is Nelson Crab? -1. So, all right. I mean, again, it's improvement. We had a very, very good month. Obviously, 10, 1, and 1. So I'm not going to change anything right now. But if we continue to, or not continue to, but if we begin falling off again, then the second line might be something we look at changing. So Vandermeer with 36 penalty minutes. Power play goals, 4 for Nelson Crab. Let's see power play points. DeSilva with 8. Crab with 7. All right, any shorthanded goals? Yep, we have 1 from Howden. Game-winning goals, we have 4 from Vandermeer. Shots on goal, 119 from DeSilva, 108 from Vandermeer, 93 from Mowers, 91 from Boychuk, 90 from Crab. 88 from DeSilva, or Zadina, rather. Shooting percentage, 50% from Magnuson. 1 goal on 2 shots. And then Crab with a 12.2, so he got it back up there. Vandermeer with an 11.1 on 108. Abney with a 10.9 on 64. Mowers with a 10.8 on 93. Not bad. Now, time on ice per game. Vandermeer Boychuk lead, I would imagine. Now, face-offs, let's see, this will be interesting. Howden with a 56.1, nothing new there. Eakin with a 54%, nothing new there. Let's see, Zadina with a 50%, not bad. DeSilva 49.3, could be better. Now, Mowers at a 48.1. Martins at a 45. Well, Martins isn't really a face-off taker, but Mowers is the face-off taker for the power play. So I might want to think about putting DeSilva at center on that first line power play. So we'll see how that works out if we need to change that. Bruce with 85 hits. Vandermeer with 72. DeSilva with 68. Pistola with 67. Zadina with 54. Crab with 51. Comrie with 43. Boychuk 37, Eakin 32, Howden 31, Henrich 20, Morris 18, Martins and Liljegren with 15, Mowers and Downey with 14, Pouliot and Abney with 7, and Magnuson with 1. Blocks, all the usual numbers for defensemen. Most of them, besides Pouliot, are up there in the 40s or 30s. That's fine with me. Giveaways and takeaways, this will be interesting as well. De Silva with 30 and 21, that's good. Henrich 27 and 19, that's good. Zadina 25-14, that's good. Liljegren 24-21, that's all right. Howden with 23-20, that's all right. Martins with 22-20, again, that's all right. Crab 21 and 14. I feel like he should be getting more, just given his skill. But he does appear to have picked it up a bit recently, so that's good for him. Mowers, good ratio, 20-13. Bruce, that's going to happen, 39 and 19. And then Morris, not great. I think he has picked it up, though, because he was like 18 and 7 before. So I think that ratio is a little better. I don't know, though. That doesn't look too much better, though, just given the amount of giveaways that he has. Ross Downey was 16 and 14. Not terrible. Not good either, though. Comrie with 16 and 24. That's going to happen as a defenseman, and you know what? That ratio is actually pretty good. Pistola, 16-23, good ratio for defenseman. Boychuk, 16-25, good ratio. Pouliot, 15-26, that's a pretty good ratio, though. I don't think Pouliot's been doing too much offensively. No, he has not. 7 points, so that's very unusual for him. That's actually rather concerning. Maybe his age is starting to show a little bit. Vandermeer with a 13-27, that's going to happen. Eakin, 11 and 14, that's unfortunate. Abney, 9 and 19, that's pretty bad. Magnuson with a 3 and 4. So, and then fights, 2 for Comrie, 2 for Morris, 2 for Martins, 2 for for Vandermeer, 2 for De Silva, and 1 for Pistola. Got a few fighters on this team, actually. And there you go. Goaltenders, let's see. All right, so Korpisalo, definitely much, much better. He was at, a 908 before, and he's now at a 918, which means he's been playing much better than a 918 as of recent. So it's good to see that he has turned it on, and hopefully he can stay that way for the rest of the season. Avi Bulin has not been doing too great. 905 save percentage, only 2 wins, 6 games played. So we might want to think about upgrading that if we can. I'm not sure how much salary cap we have, though, at the moment. I think we're within, like, 1.5 million. Now, the good news is that we are closer to the top of our division once again. We're at 40 points, tied for 3rd with Calgary, 19, 14, and 2. And we have 92 goals for, so we're no longer one of the worst goal-scoring teams in the league. We have a respectable goals for per game of 2.63, and our goals against per game has gone down. Remember, it was at like 2.9 something earlier. It is now at 2.46. So we're definitely simulating much, much better, especially after that December there, going 10-1-1. Power play hasn't taken too much of a hit, so that's good, 22.5. And then the penalty kill has gotten much better as well. 82.4. It was at like a 79.5 before, I think. So that is better as well. So, yeah, can't complain. We're just going to keep simulating and hope that the EA, well, I don't want to say nonsense. I guess just voodoo is in our favor. So, do I want to make a change to the power play at center and switch Mowers and De Silva? No, I don't think so. We'll just keep going, see what happens, and just let the simulation take its course, I suppose, at this point, because there's not really much we can do to improve this team after going 10-1-1 in the past month, so we're just going to see how it goes. There you go, 5-3 win against the New York Rangers. 4-2 win against Calgary Flames. 4-3 win against the New Jersey Devils. There you go. We seem to be back on track to where we were before. Oh my goodness. Jonas Korpisalo has been injured with a broken collarbone. Estimated return is February 23rd. So basically like a week before the trade deadline. Oh goodness. Okay. This could be rough. This could be rough. You know what? We might have to make a trade. I don't trust McNiven or Abibulin to get it done. I really don't. And you know what? We were looking to upgrade Abibulin anyway. Now might be the time to trade for a temporary starting goaltender because it's January 9th. We're going a good month and a half without Jonas Korpisalo. And by the way, if you guys hear any like rumbling going on, that is my graphics card fan that is hitting the side of the casing of the graphics card. So it's annoying. It's not I don't think it's anything serious, but it's still very annoying. I'm doing everything I can to dampen the sound. I have like a blanket over my computer right now, doing everything I can to quiet it down because it was really loud before. Like it was worse than lawnmowers. So but anyway, we are going to we have 1.45 in salary cap, so we do not have a lot of breathing room here to try to get a decent goaltender. All right, so I think I found a good goaltender here. We are going to try to trade for Rudolph Kurtz of the St. Louis Blues. He's 28 years of age and starting goaltender, marginal starting goaltender, like 82 overall. But he's played 16 games so far this season with a .928 save percentage, so he looks like he could get it done for us within the month and a half that we need him. And then we are sending the other way Ronald Donaghy, which is a prospect of ours who he is way far off. I mean, he's only 51 overall, fringe starter, 19 years of age. And we're also sending a New York Islanders second rounder for this year over to St. Louis, as St. Louis does have a goaltender better than Kurtz. They have Delmore, who's an 86. Adam Delmore, I mean, he looks pretty solid. .932 save percentage in 26 games played. So then they have Rusu to bring up to replace Kurtz. So this looks like a good trade, proposed trade. There you go. No brainer. So there you go. We now have who is hopefully going to be a solid replacement for Jonas Korpisalo until he returns in late February. And then after that, hopefully he will also be a solid backup goaltender for the rest of the year. So we'll scratch McNiven and we will put Kurtz in there. And then we will put Kurtz in the starting position. So there you go. New goaltender. Let's see how he does. And hopefully we don't get any more injuries because, I mean, we do have a lot of trade bait if we need to make more trades, but the only issue is we don't have any cap space right now. I mean, look at that. 107.562 out of 107.925. We have almost nothing left in terms of money. So, I mean, again, we have a lot of trade bait. We have 5 first-round picks for this year. Carolina's, Detroit's, the New York Islanders, Ottawa Senators, and our own. And then, of course, we have 4 more second-round picks, 2 third-round picks. We have a lot of trade bait. And then we probably have some 4 prospects that we'd be able to give up, like Kovalchuk, Radulov, Filatov, Volchenkov, Chubarov. We have a lot of assets here that we could trade for any injury replacement players. But the issue for us here is the salary cap. So hopefully we don't get into any more injury trouble. Any more major injury trouble anyway. So now we are going to simulate at least I would say up to the trade deadline. If not the rest of the season, because I would love to, just get it done. Because honestly, at the rate that the series is uploaded, there's only how many more days till NHL 19? I believe there's 12, because I get it on the 11th. So, yeah, less than 2 weeks remaining. And this episode would probably go up, I'm guessing, this would go up on Friday. And then there's another Monday, then a Friday. There's only 4 days of uploads left for NHL 18. So if we're following the regular schedules anyway. So I prefer to, get this all done in one episode. And maybe we might have to do 2 playoff rounds per episode once we get there. So there you go. Getting on a bit of a winning streak there, but of course broken up by Winnipeg and the Capitals. So I mean, we're in a good spot right now, I think, as long as we can, you know, keep a decent ratio with our current goaltender. What's his name again? Kurtz or something like that. Timothy Liljegren has been injured with a sore knee, estimated return February 9th. That's pretty close. That's like a week from now. But that is a big blow to our top six. So who do I want to put up there? Is it going to be Abney or Downey? It's going to be one of these two. So Abney has 19 points right now. Giveaway to takeaway is not the greatest at all. What about Downey? He has 15 points. You know, I think it's going to be Downey just because of his takeaways and giveaways. He'll be good up there, hopefully. I mean, that's like... we'll see how they play. I was hesitant on putting two snipers together, but then I realized I already did that with Downey and Abney, so what you gonna do? Anyway, we'll put... Since Morris has been struggling with turnovers here, I mean, he's gotten better as the season's gone on for sure, but Martins has... definitely has an edge in that, so I'll put him on the third line, and then we will put in, for the first time this season, Ola Magnuson, and he will get in there on the fourth line left wing with Eakin and Morris. So then the lines are Henrich, De Silva, Mowers, Crab, Zadina, Downey, Martins, Howden, and Abney, and then Magnuson, Eakin, and Morris, and then Vandermeer, Bruce, Pistola, Boychuk, Pouliot, Comrie, good as usual. Power play, four-man power play. So Zadina, Crab, Mowers, Henrich, Pouliot, Vandermeer, Boychuk, blank. I will go... I guess I'm going to have to go a forward on the point here. Because I don't want to use... I definitely don't want to use Pistola, Bruce, or Comrie there. So, let's see. Zadina, Crab, Mowers, Henrich. I'll go with De Silva. Yeah, I'll go with De Silva there. And then extras, 3-on-3, Zadina, Crab, Boychuk, Mowers, Henrich, Vandermeer, De Silva, blank, Pouliot. Let's go. What forwards are here again? Zadina, Crab. Basically the top six. So I guess I could put Downey here. And I believe that's it. Yeah, alright. So hopefully Kurtz can keep shutting it down. And it looks like he's doing well. I believe he's played, 8 games so far? Because we got him at 16. Yeah. So his save percentage, I don't believe, has gone down at all from when we acquired him. And as a matter of fact, I think it's stayed the same. If not, though, it's gone up. So it seems like he's doing well for himself there. So I'm going to leave him in there, obviously, because we don't really have any other better options anyway. So let's just keep going to the trade deadline, and once we get Korpisalo back, everything should be good, all well here in Seattle. Timothy Liljegren is back. We're not in a desperate time where we would need Liljegren right now, so I'll let him heal until like the Vancouver game. So Carolina, 4-1 win, and then we'll stop the simulation after Vancouver. 3-2 loss against Vancouver. We'll get Liljegren back in there for Nashville. And yeah, so De Silva is still our leading point scorer. 52 points in 53 games. He has stepped up in a big way this season. He has been pretty much the only consistent one throughout the year. All right, now let's get let us get Liljegren back in there. So in 9 games, Ola Magnuson, 4 points, not bad. That was actually 8 games that he played there. So yeah, not too bad. But we are gonna get Timothy Liljegren back in there. So we'll get Martins back down there on the fourth line. Liljegren back up here. Martins on the right. All right, there you go. Everything looks good. Let's check the 4-man power play just to be sure. Do I want to keep De Silva there? I mean, he's a good point scorer for sure. But there's already that sniper there with Crab, so I think I'm going to put Liljegren back there. And then 3-on-3. Yeah, I'm going to put Liljegren back in place of Downey. All right, so that should be good now. Now, how long for Korpisalo? I believe it's another, like, I believe it's another week or so, at least. But before Korpisalo comes back, I'm just going to do this move now, just so we don't have to later, because it's going to force us to. We're going to send McNiven down over the NHL salary cap. Come on. Okay. So if we send Khabibulin down, then that's not a problem. Okay. Oh, so this... Okay, so Khabibulin... Okay. So Khabibulin does not have waivers on him. So that's why we can send him down as opposed to McNiven. Alright, there you go. So let's just send Khabibulin down. We'll get McNiven in the backup role. And, because, I mean, he's not going to really be playing too much anyway. It's mostly going to be Kurtz until Korpisalo gets back. And then after Korpisalo gets back, it'll be Korpisalo and Kurtz. So, let us simulate up to the day that Korpisalo will be fully healed, which should be the 23rd. So, the game after Colorado, he should be all good to go. Nashville, they're pretty bad this year. 21, 32, and 1. Wow. There you go. 3-2 win. Detroit versus Brandon Lopp, 3-0 overtime. What am I saying? All right, so Korpisalo is back, but we're gonna let him heal a little bit more because that was a broken collarbone. You know, want to take it just day by day. Want to make sure he is 100% to go because as of right now, Kurtz is shutting it down for the most part. So, but yeah, 3-0 win against Detroit. 5-2 loss against Minnesota, but then we come back with a 3-2 win against Chicago. And we seem to be a bit back and forth at the moment. But you know what? Kurtz did a pretty solid job of manning the starting goaltender position until Joonas Korpisalo got back. And he is now back. So let us get our man Joonas Korpisalo back in there in favor of McNiven. There you go. Welcome back, Korpisalo. Hopefully you are still on your A game, as we kind of need it. I mean, Kurtz did a pretty solid job. He broke down a little bit there towards the end, but we're still in a playoff position. 70 points, third in our division, but I would love if we could pull away from Vegas and Edmonton and Calgary. Just so we're not worrying about if we're making the playoffs or not, especially as the defending Stanley Cup champions, you know. So let us get through the rest of the season. I mean, I don't see why this team would have too much of a problem, especially now with Korpisalo back in there. Boston, overtime loss, will take the point, especially against an Eastern Conference team. Vegas, let's see. 3-2 loss. Okay, come on, boys. Get back on track now. It's been, you've had your relaxation time. Now let's get it going again. Philadelphia, Arizona. 3-1 loss. Come on, boys. Arizona. Oh, my God. Where do we sit now? We sit in a wild card. Still 71 points, and Edmonton is starting to pull away. I don't like that. I don't like to see that. So what's going on now? Because here's the issue, is that we just dropped like 6 in a row, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go back into the calendar. Let's just check here. 2, 5, 6 losses in a row. That's not good. That is not good. We cannot afford that, especially after the start we had to this season. So, all right, what changes are we going to make here? You know what? Let's check the... before we go into the lines, let's check the team stats, see if there's any particular area that's struggling now as compared to when we last checked. So, let's see. Goals for per game. We are actually the best in the division right now. 2.76. Goals against per game has gone down a little bit from where it was last time. I believe it was at like 2.46. So it's not anything major, but our defense has cracked a little bit since then. But our offense has, good news, our offense has turned it on, and we are now the best goal-scoring team in the Pacific Division. Power play is clicking on all cylinders. Don't need to change anything there. Penalty kill, pretty good as well. 82.2, near the top of the division right now. So, I mean, I guess it just comes down to individual game simulations, it's not like we're really struggling in any specific area. It's just, guys need to step up here. So I'd like to see more of out of our captain, Philip Zadina. Only has 28 points on the season so far. Yeah, and in more games than he played last year, because remember, he had that big injury last year where he was out for about a month or two. And he got 49 points in that amount of time. And he only has 28 right now, -8 as well. I mean, sure, he had the decreased role with the second line and all that because we had to shake up the chemistry somehow because just nothing was working at the start of the season. But now he's trailing off a little bit, and it's not what I like to see here. So it looks like we might need to make some more changes here because Henrich appears to have slowed down a bit. He's not his usual self. He's usually like a 70-point guy. Right now, he only has 49. And then, I mean, obviously that's partially thanks to the slow start to the season. Again, the only consistent guy this year so far, at least forward-wise, has been Stuart De Silva. So, I definitely want to keep him on the first line. It's just a matter of finding the right chemistry here, I guess, between De Silva and somebody else, because I thought we had the perfect chemistry before with the original top six that we had of Henrich, Zadina, and Crab, and then Mowers, De Silva, and Liljegren, but it's just that was nowhere to be found this season. So I don't know, should I go back to that? But the only issue is, ever since I went to these new lines, the goal scoring has gone up significantly. And when we were at those original top six lines, we were at a 1.88. But then again, those are the same lines that won us the Stanley Cup. So, what do I want to do here? I don't want to put De Silva and Crab on the same line. I don't, because they're both of them are our best shooters, at least in terms of the amount of shots that they take. And I don't want Henrich and Liljegren on the same line because they're our best playmakers. And then Zadina, he could kind of be on any line, I guess. And then Mowers, he's more of a sniper. So I guess he could fit in with whoever isn't scoring as many goals between De Silva and Crab. So I guess it'd be beneficial to put him. Well, I mean, both of them are doing pretty well goal scoring wise. Crab has 26 at the moment. It's just, I wish that chemistry with Zadina, Henrich, and Crab, and then Mowers, De Silva, and Liljegren never went away. Because that would just make this so much easier. Now, let's see how the bottom six is doing. Downey, he's a +6. Howden, +10. Abney, +8. 16 goals. Martin's even, 19 points. Eakin, +1, 24 points. Morris, even, 12 points. So, I don't think there's really too much I can do here. I could switch Pistola and Comrie, I guess, but all of our defensemen are pluses now, so do I really want to change anything? Pouliot's a -13, and Comrie's a -14. Okay, so that's an issue. Okay, so So it appears Pouliot does not simulate well with Comrie. He only has 22 points on the season. That's very unusual for him. He's usually around the 40 to 50 point mark. And Drew Comrie, 3 goals on the season, no assists, -14. I thought he would be a good player, but because just based on the season he had last year, he had a +3. He wasn't anything spectacular, but, he wasn't bad. But this year, I don't know. I think that lack of physical category is hurting him a little bit, especially in body checking. He's only got that 80. We might have to find someone else to play with Derek Pouliot here. Do I want to give Kovacs the chance? Nah, he's... Oh, wait. There you go. I thought it was on... yeah, it put me on Magnuson for a second there. I mean, Kovacs... Okay, so here we go. So Kovacs' physical category actually isn't that bad when you consider the body checking at 87. His defensive category isn't terrible. Puck skills aren't where I would want them to be, but you know, I think it's worth trying at this point because, man, Comrie has just been terrible. So we're going to get Kovacs in there with Pouliot. We'll see how that works. Or do I want to do Kovacs and Comrie? But here's the thing. Pouliot actually produces points. Comrie doesn't, and he's terrible defensively as of right now. So I'll give Pouliot the opportunity with Kovacs, or I guess Kovacs the opportunity with Pouliot for being technical here, but I don't know. Because we can't afford to make any trades right now because we don't have the money. We literally don't have any money. So there's not much we can do in that respect unless we get another prospect. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to trust Tiny Kovacs and hopefully he gets it done because we have no wiggle room in the salary cap right now. So it's a trade deadline. It's really unfortunate. Whatever happens, happens. We do not have any breathing room, so we're just going to go ahead and we'll make changes as needed. Oh boy. This could very well be the last episode of the Seattle GM mode, depending on what happens, but let's hope that it's not. All right. Come on now, EA. Let's get going. This is waiting for a trade. Shouldn't take that long to generate a trade, EA. All right, there we go. 2 solid wins against Dallas and Pittsburgh. 3-2 loss against the Islanders. I mean, I'm not concerned about Eastern Conference teams at this point, but I mean, I guess every point counts, right? So there you go. Solid win against the Rangers. Ooh, loss against the Western Conference team in Calgary, but we're winning against those Eastern Conference teams, but I would much rather win against Western Conference teams like San Jose here. So let's get it going. But unfortunately, though, it appears the majority of our games left are against Eastern Conference teams like Columbus, Florida, Ottawa. Luckily, we won the majority of those, so we appear to be on a good track as of right now. But yeah, we're all right. So how many Western Conference games do we have left? Anaheim, LA. There's 2, 3 Winnipeg, 4 Edmonton. So we only have 4 Western Conference games left out of 9 games. So the majority of our games left are against Eastern Conference teams. So we really got to make those Western Conference teams count, especially Anaheim, LA, and Edmonton. So let's go a few games at a time here. Buffalo, Oregon, and then Buffalo. Let's see. Come on, boys. There you go. Solid win, but that's not what we're concerned about. We're concerned about Anaheim and LA. Curtis Blacker, Oregon again. All right, come on. 5-0 loss, 2-0 loss. You're throwing valuable points out the window, boys. All right, let's see where we are. It's a little too close to call right now. Oh, my God. 87 points. Oh, man. So luckily, LA and Anaheim are out of it. So those wins for them didn't matter too much. But what that did do is it allows Calgary, Vegas, and Edmonton to pull further away, and it allows Vancouver to get closer to us. So, and we only have a game against Edmonton left out of those teams that are near us. So we really have to make sure that we win at least, I would say, 4 out of the last 6 games here. So, and again, those ones against Winnipeg and Edmonton are really gonna count here. Actually, let's check the wild card for the Central. See where Winnipeg is. Let's see. Winnipeg. Okay, so they're like a bubble team, sort of like on the bubble of being in a divisional spot and a wild card spot. So they could technically drop down into the wild card, and that's not what we want. So we have to make sure that we get that win against Winnipeg. So Toronto, Winnipeg. Let's hope we can pull out the W, especially against Winnipeg here. We cannot afford a loss to Winnipeg. Come on, boys. Curtis Blacker, yeah, whatever. Toronto, Winnipeg, yes. Okay, solid. 4-2 win against Winnipeg. That's what I like to see. Now the game I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, but every point counts for us. It doesn't matter for Edmonton as much because they're in first, but it matters for us. So come on, boys. Come on. Come on. Abney has been injured with a neck strain April 23rd. Oh, that's rough. Okay, so let's get Magnuson back in there. We'll put... How's Morris doing with the turnovers recently? Not great. I'll get Martins in there on the third line, and we'll get Magnuson back in there. There you go. And it appears that Kovacs has actually been doing pretty well for himself. Let's see. Turnovers haven't been great. Actually, they've been terrible. But, you know, at least he's a +2. I mean, Comrie was a -14. So, you know, they've been doing well. There you go. 3-0 win against Edmonton. That is what I like to see. We should be good for a playoff spot. We should be. As long as I would say we can win one more of these games, we should be all set to go. Loss against Tampa and final game of the season against Montreal at home. Not before we go to the Scout, Russia for 6 weeks. Montreal shootout loss. All right, we'll take the point. We'll certainly take the point. But where are we in the standings? Okay, good. We clinched the playoffs. Not by much though. Vancouver was right behind us at 93. So if we didn't win against Edmonton and Winnipeg, this could have been a much different season. So glad we did it. So De Silva with 73 points led our team. What a guy. Henrich with 65 points. Kind of an off year offensively for most of our players here. Crab with 36 goals. I mean, he was pretty consistent with where he usually is. He's usually a 60-point guy. Yeah, 60 to 70 points for him, usually the norm. Vandermeer with 56. That's good for him. Liljegren with 50. That's actually somewhat normal for him as well. Yeah, that's good. That's around where he's normally at, so can't complain there. Zadina, 43. Wish he had more, because, again, he had 49 points last year in 61, so... And he's usually like a 65-point guy, so I wish he did more this season. Mowers 40, could have done a bit more. Boychuk 38. I mean, that's not terrible for Boychuk, but he's obviously shown that he can do more. So I would love to see more from him in the playoffs. Downey with 32 points. He had a pretty good year, I would say, for the third line. He had a career high 32 points. Abney, 31 points. He was a nice surprise. Seems to be more of a sniper. 19 goals. +10, so he had a good rookie year. Eakin, 29. Howden, 28. Pouliot, 26. He had a rough year. -13, playing with Drew Comrie the majority of the year. Jason Martins, 25. My man. Doing pretty well for himself there. +1. Can't complain. Morris, 16. He had a rough year with the turnovers. So, Pistola, +8, or +6 rather, 8 points. Bruce, 8 points, +38, MVP right there on defense. Magnuson, +5 in 11 games. And then Comrie, -14, that's unfortunate. Kovacs, +2, you know, he filled in, he did what I expected him to. He played solid defensively, so that's all I can really ask for him out of him, I should say. Bruce, +38, Vandermeer, +32. That pair needs to be the top pair, I think, in going into the playoffs, and even moving forward if we ever go back to this GM mode, though I don't think so. Unless, you know, there's a import GM mode feature on NHL 19. But De Silva with +19, Crab with a +12, Abney and Mowers with +10, Liljegren +9, Howden +8, Downey and Pistola +6, Henrich and Boychuk +5, Eakin and Zadina +3. So remember Zadina was a -10 at some point when we were struggling earlier this season. So that's good to see out of him. Kovacs +2, Martins +1, Magnuson +1. The only minuses on the team are Morris, Pouliot, and Comrie. So our whole team generally got better as the season went on. Now, goaltenders, Kurtz and Korpisalo, they did well for themselves, 920, both of them. And Kurtz with 20 wins. Don't know exactly how many of those came from St. Louis, but he did a good job filling in for Korpisalo when he got injured. And, yeah, had a pretty solid season for both of these two. And then Javi Bulin, that was unfortunate, but hopefully he tears it up down there in the minors, presuming they're in the playoffs. So, Yeah, really. I mean, I do have a couple of issues with this team, mainly being Pouliot and Comrie, and the lack of offense from star players like Henrich and Zadina. But that being said, we did clinch the playoffs, so we did get better as the season went on, and anything can happen in the playoffs. So let's see who we're facing. This video's been long enough. So let's see. And of course, who else? But the Edmonton Oilers. So yeah, our consistent playoff rival in the Edmonton Oilers. I believe this is the 5th time we're going up against them now. It's got to be at least, yeah, it's got to be at least 5. So first year we made the playoffs was year 4. Yeah, it's got to be at least 5 times. We've seen them almost every single year that we've been in the playoffs. Jeez, dude. So, as if we didn't already know their lines, let's see what the Edmonton Oilers are all about. Hopefully there's an injury to McDavid or something, but no, there is not. Tyler Benson got better, 87, that's not good. McDavid, 96. Puljujärvi, 89. Rankin, 84. Draisaitl, 91. Hurdle, 83. Edwin Hunt, 80. Castles, 85. Strome, 82, so they're deep at center for sure. Ross Moss, that's a fun name to say. Ross Moss. And then Philippe Dano, the 8-year player for Seattle. He moved on earlier in year 9. And then Gilbert Pouliot at the right wing on the 4th line. Defensively, they got Klefbom and Larson, but then it starts to drop off. Sergei Datsuk, John Klingberg, 82, so he's dropped off a little bit due to age. Tommy Seppänen and Eugene Durapos. Not sure how to pronounce that, but okay. Goaltenders, Luukkonen and Plekhanov, so I mean, just the fact that there's McDavid and Draisaitl on this team means that it's going to be rough, and as I would expect it to be, but we're going to look to repeat what we did last year in round 2 of the year 9 playoffs and beat out the Edmonton Oilers. So with that, I'll see you guys in the next one, and we will be facing our arch rivals in the Edmonton Oilers. See you guys then.